Okay, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? How y'all doing today? How you doing today? Listen, it's that boy, Rick Titus. It's that boy, Rick Titus, with this exquisite podcast, flexible rental package to fit your need. Exquisite podcast has flexible rental packages to fit your needs. Listen, we're going to give a shout out to that gentleman, Dr. Lionel Green. Dr. Lionel Green with WBGR TV network out there in Hyattsville, Maryland. I'm giving you your flowers today, sir. While you're living, I salute you. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. That man, that boy, that young man, Dr. Lionel Green with WBGR TV network in Hyattsville, Maryland. That's where I learned my skill set. I want to give a shout out to that girl, your girl, Natasha Carpenter, who got that excellent tea, that excellent coffee. If you can find her on YouTube, Instagram, Tickalacka, Fan Base, Red Note, LinkedIn. Hey, listen, tell her Rick Titus sent you over there, family. Hey, listen, family, this is what I like for you guys to do for me. Do this right here for me. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Subscribe, hit those doggone thumbs up on YouTube, hit that doggone notification bell. Listen, this is where the issue comes in at. Why you guys are not appreciating the donators? Rick Titus, yes, indeed, appreciate the donations. I appreciate all the donate that come in, all of the donations that come in. Let's look in that donation box. What I see: Florence, South Carolina; Bishopville, South Carolina; Timminsville, South Carolina; Manning, South Carolina; Sumter, South Carolina; Charleston, South Carolina; Moncks Corner, South Carolina. I definitely greatly appreciate y'all helping to keep this YouTube channel up and popping, But listen, before we get into the podcast, family, before we get into the podcast, I want to welcome you guys to the Exquisite Podcast. I want to welcome all of you who's looking at me on Fan Base, Red Note, YouTube, Tickalacka, LinkedIn, Instagram. I welcome y'all all to the podcast. I welcome you all to the podcast. But listen, family, a professional photographer that I pay is very, very expensive. I don't know if you even had a professional photographer before. Book your event today. Book your event today. Tell them Rick Titus sent you down there. Book your event today for next month. We got limited spaces. I don't know how I can tell you guys this. We got limited spaces. So book your event today for next month. Tell them Rick Titus sent you down there. Listen, we're located in Waldorf, Maryland. Everybody in the DMV know we're Waldorf, Maryland, in the St. Charles Town Center Mall, right around the corner from J.C. Penney's. So book your appointment today. Stop procrastinating. Get it done today for next month. We do birthday parties, kids party, baby shower, family events, cousin event, nephew event, niece's event, any type of event that you want to have. Book it. Book it now. Book it today. Do it right now for next month. Book your event today. That's what I wanted to talk about before we jump into this podcast. So listen, family. Listen. This is what's going on. We are renting out our podcast to people who don't have the sophisticated image that they need to portray. See, a lot of people don't have the iPhone. They may have a flip phone, huh? They may not have that picture. That iPhone has those great pictures. Androids too. Some people may not have that. Some people may not have this dish board. This podcast dish board is expensive. And I bought about 2 or 3 of them and spent about 86 times 3. You do the math. Until I found the right one to connect. So it's a lot of equipment. The microphones, huh? The amplifiers, all of that stuff, it costs money. It costs. Think about it. So what we are doing is we are renting out our studio in Waldorf for the community. to help the community. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, if you're thinking about talking about, some people say they don't know what to talk about. If you want to talk about entertainment, you want to talk about sports, you want to talk about health and wellness, huh? You want to talk about family life, you want to talk about insurance, and most of us need that insurance. If you want to talk about real estate, huh? You want to talk about you just wrote a book or you're planning to write a book. There's a lot of subjects and topics that you can talk about, and let that boy RickTitus uplift and do the heavy work for you, sponsoring your podcast. To talk to that boy RickTitus. Listen, if you want a podcast done, first of all, go to our Facebook group, sign up, join it. It's public. It's called Exquisite Podcast on Facebook. That's our Facebook group. Now, if you want to do a podcast, you want to get your podcast up and running and scream on Exquisite Podcast Studio, you need to give me your full name, your email address, your telephone number, your markup, your backdrop, the name of your show, and the time of your show. Email that to me at exquisitepodcast60@gmail.com. Email me that at exquisitepodcast60@gmail.com to get your podcast up and popping. Okay, but look, let me drop some of these cracker jacks on you right now. Listen, hold up, man. This is the deal, guys. This is the deal. Let's stop being the consumer. Let's stop being the consumer. Let's start being a owner. A owner. Listen, the black baby boomers, our first generation, huh? If we don't get it right, what you think they're gonna end up? They're gonna end up just like you. Think about that. You are just, listen, you aren't just broke, you are broke. Think about it. We got $1 trillion out there in the community. But our money just go away from us so fast. Not other groups, but us. We become so much consumers instead of becoming a business owner. We consume and buy, but we don't become the owner. And that's what we're trying to display. A billionaire brought that to my attention. Man, this is just from the people who do not buy from us. Stop doing business. Stop doing business from people and groups who do not support you. They don't support us. So why should we support them? Why are we going to support them, family? That's why it's so hard for Exquisite Podcast to get popping. We got 43 million FBAs out here. Not 43,000. We got 43 million FBAs out here. We got to get on code. Understand? We got to get on scope, on code. Listen, go in that donut box and click the link. All of the information is in the DMs. Click the link in that donut. Click that donuts in the links. So listen, let's jump into this ministries with the pastors. Let me talk to you pastors right now. I need you pastors to get in touch with that boy RickTitus. I need you pastors to get in touch with that boy RickTitus so he can scream your ministry. So that boy RickTitus can scream your ministry, pastor. The reason why, some of you pastors got some great information. Some of you pastors got some outstanding information. But this is the issue that we have. This is the issue that we have here. Listen, you got some great material. You got some great materials. You got some great, excellent material, pastor. But we at Exquisite Podcast want to scream your ministry. So the issue is nobody is hearing you, nobody is seeing you, and nobody you are touching. You're not touching anybody, pastor. You're not touching anybody, pastors. So let that boy RickTitus do all of the heavy lifting for you. Let that boy RickTitus do all of the heavy lifting for you. Understand? So we can go ahead and get your ministry screen all over the internet. And listen, this is the deal, guys. This is the deal here. Listen, Look at the ticker down at the bottom. You need to be in the US or international, but you don't have to be in the studio. You can come to the studio. The studio is located in Waldorf, Maryland. Everybody in the DMV know where Waldorf, Maryland at St. Charles Town Center Mall. Right around the corner from J.C. Penney's. Right around the corner from J.C. Penney. That's where we're located at. But you don't have to come in the studio to get your podcast or your ministry screen. All you got to do is just have one of these contraptions right here. That's all you got to have. Have high-speed internet on a live laptop or a desktop, and we can stream your ministry or we can stream your podcast. So what we're doing is, listen, family, what we're doing here, we are renting out our studio. A lot of people just don't have the location. A lot of people don't have the backdrops. A lot of people don't have the markups. A lot of people don't have this podcast board, dashboard that I'm holding up in my hands. A lot of people just don't have it. So we have the location. So why not come and rent out our location or do your podcast in our studio or outside our studio? How beautiful can you get? You can't get it no beautiful than that. That boy RickTitus with Exquisite Podcast. Listen, family, you know, I just gave y'all all of their ingredients. Let me digress. Let me digress right now. Now, have y'all heard of this thing called eminent domain? Eminent domain. I don't know where they came up with it. They might have Googled it. You can Google it to find out. You can YouTube it, or you can look up at the ceiling and get it. Eminent domain. We got some FBAs down there in the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia that has a problem. What they're trying to do, family, they're trying to run a railroad. They're trying to run a railroad in their backyard. I thought when you bought the house, you bought the land. I thought when you bought the land, you bought the doggone house. So what is going on? What goes on in this Cracker Jack scenario here? Let's dig in the box here. So look it up. If you ain't another city, look up the eminent domain. It might be in your state too. But it's happening right now with some FBAs that had that land for years. Had the land for years, and now they're coming to them to trying to take it. Or take half of it. I don't know what they're trying to do, but let's look into it. If they need some help, reach out to them. Reach out to them in the state of Georgia. Listen, this is that boy RickTitus. This is that boy RickTitus with Exquisite Podcast. Flexible rental package to fit your needs. We're renting out our podcast studio for the people that need it in the community. This is that boy RickTitus. I'll see you guys on another video. But guess what? Guess what? They said that what? They said, who said it couldn't be done?